Ava, are you planning on coming to my wedding? With a face like that?
Just like always, you're coming back to be rude to me even more. I do plan on going to your wedding. And congratulations on getting proposed to. You are family to me now, so it's pretty obvious that I'd be going to see your wedding. And I was the one that showed you the location of where you're planning to hold your wedding, right?
And so what? And the only reason you showed me the wedding hall to have a wedding is because you do a business with that place. So stop trying to act all cool about doing that when it was nothing more than you helping them make more money.
I'm not trying to get some sort of praise from you or anything. I was just stating that I know where the wedding will occur. And another thing, at the moment I'm the one that's paying for your wedding until you have the money to pay me back, right? So just with that alone, I'd love it if you could thank me or something.
And I told you I will pay you back, so don't worry. Others will be giving me money as gifts for my wedding, so just wait until I get all of that. And for the savings I have right now, they need to be used for other purposes, so I can't repay you with that.
And have you told Drew about that yet? Drew told me that your husband would be the one to pay for things like that, but that's all a lie, right?
I'm not lying about anything. I just wanted to make sure that he wasn't worried about anything regarding me. That's just what I want Drew thinking for a little while, so don't do anything unnecessary that could make him think otherwise.
Anything unnecessary? Him and I are married now, Evelyn. I understand that this whole event is for our family and we wouldn't want to make any issues, but I'm still not fully sure whether you're up to something else behind all of our backs right now.
Well, Ava, you're a pretty ugly woman.
Wait, what?
Do you think that it's okay for someone who's ugly to come to my wedding? I want to make sure that my whole wedding is 100% perfect for all my guests. And if someone with the looks of you came into it, then the whole event would be ruined.
How much longer are you going to keep making such rude comments about my face being less than ideal for you? I guess I can expect that sort of stuff to continue from you, though. Do you tell Drew about all the things you say to me? Have you told him that you're not inviting his wife to the wedding because she's ugly?
If I said that to him, I'd be hurting his feelings, so I'll never tell him that. Of course, telling him the truth would be a lot easier.
You should never say something like that, though. If you're worried about hurting someone's feelings with the things you say, then why do you keep making rude comments about me? Up to now, you have hurt my feelings plenty of times.
Well, because you've helped out with my wedding and planning it out, I'm thankful. But because of your less than beautiful looks, I want you to stay away from it.
You're being awful right now, Evelyn. You can stop trying to tell me to stay away, alright? Go and tell your brother all these sorts of things and see what he says.
I tried warning you plenty of times not to come, Ava, but you never heeded any of them. And you probably just thought that I was bluffing. If this has helped you understand that you're an ugly and depressing woman, then get up and go home.
I've had enough. You are worse than I thought. You pushed me into that fountain at the wedding reception all because you hate the looks of your brother's wife for no good reason. That right there has pushed me to my limits with you.
And I told you that all ugly people were to stay out of my wedding. Hurry up and go away. You're dripping wet now, and I don't want you causing any slip hazards for my invited guests.
I can see that you think you're all that because it's your wedding day and you want me to be gone. But do you understand just how regretful you're going to be because of all that you've done to me?
Regretful? I'll never regret a thing about today. All I did just then was help get rid of an ugly duckling. Everyone knows that I was in the right for doing that.
Well, if you're so confident in that, then that's great for you. I can see now that no matter what I try and say to you, you're never going to actually think about it. I'm giving up on you now, you old, hopeless hag!
Excuse me? Why are you being so rude to me now?
Because after all this time I'd been so considerate of you when you've been rude to me. You are my brother's older sister after all, and I tried my best to just ignore all the hateful things that have come out of your mouth. But I seriously cannot handle you anymore.
Well, I've been trying my best with you.
How?
I've actually never really thought of you as part of my family, even after marrying my brother. And because you came into my wedding today without considering the consequences, I had to push you into the fountain. There's no way that someone dripping wet would be allowed to stay here, so hurry up and go.
Then I will go.
See ya! Never, you gross loser!
Going as far as you have has really shown me your true colors. But since you still can't seem to realize the consequences of all this, then I'm just going to shut up and leave. But don't you ever forget that this wedding hall was all put together with the help of the company I work for.
Huh? And what does that have to do with anything?
You'll know soon enough.
Hey Ava, can you reply to me please? Right now they're saying that this whole wedding is being cancelled and have started to clean up.
Well, that would happen. I told them to cancel it before I left.
Huh? What the heck are you talking about, Ava? If you let them keep doing this, then my whole wedding is going to be over.
And that's just too bad, right? But if you think about what you've done to me, it's only natural. You cared way too much about your little brother's feelings, and to make sure that your wedding that you haven't even paid for yet was perfect, you pushed me, the one paying for it, into that fountain. None of what you'd been doing was okay.
Hold on a second. There's no way you can just cancel my wedding while it's still going on, right? Right now my husband is pissed.
Is that so? I'm sure he would be when he has no clue as to why this is all happening yet. But I have nothing to do with the aftermath of all this, so don't bother me with it.
You can't just run away from this.
Well, I am a stranger to you, right? You told me that you don't regard me as family. And for a while now, I had been worried a lot about Drew. But I can no longer think of you as being family to me.
Come back here.
What?
Please, come back here so that we can all avoid being embarrassed. So please come back. If we can't get this wedding back on the road, then I'll be in hot water. Hurry up and get back here. Explain all of this to my husband for me.
I'm going to just ignore that very selfish request of yours, okay?
Huh? Why?
Also, as for the money you had asked me to give you to pay for that wedding, I'd like all $50,000 of it back very soon from you.
What? Huh?
That's what it cost for your wedding and all that came with it. And you asked me to pay for it at first, and that you'd repay the $50,000 to me after the wedding. So give it all back to me right now. I want it. And now that your wedding has been canceled, you have to pay the cancellation fees as well. I'm not going to be the one to pay those fees, but I still want my money back now. And I will not let you run away from me.
There's no way I can give you all of that money right now. Are you being serious with me?
Why wouldn't I be, you filthy grandma?
Huh?
You had no right calling me ugly and pushing me into that fountain when you had to borrow money from me to have the whole wedding. I've really been thinking about what could have been wrong with your head. But anyway, I want that money now.
But I don't have that kind of money on me right now. And also having my wedding cancelled on me is not okay. I had finally made it into my wedding day, and now it's all being ruined.
You must have forgot all the strings I had to pull to allow your wedding to be held here. I mean, if you knew that and still pushed me into the fountain, then you must seriously need some mental help.
I knew about all of that. Why would I have ever forgotten about something like that? But I thought that that would have had nothing to do with me. I can thank you for getting me this beautiful place to have my wedding and all, but I never thought you could easily cancel the wedding on me as well. I just never thought that you'd actually do something so horrible to me.
Well, it had to happen after you decided to get me drenched while in my dress. I'd stop trying to make excuses for all of that now, okay? You should know by now that this is all due to you, right?
I'm tired of texting you about this, so just come back here, please. If you want me to apologize for what happened, I'll apologize. Really, what do you want to happen after all of this?
Huh? What do I want to happen?
I'm just asking that you come back here and make things right for me so that we can continue the wedding, right? So you can stop acting like a crybaby and come back here. I'll apologize if that's what you're wanting.
You are actually brain dead, you hag.
Huh? Brain dead? Don't you think you're going too far?
Even though you're the one that's been taking it too far for a while now? Calling me ugly and a loser all the time has driven me up the wall. if you have the time to be calling me names all day long, then maybe you had the time to rethink what you were doing and make a change for the better. Your wedding is canceled, you pile of garbage.
You don't have to tell me things like that, right? What are you trying to say that I did? What's wrong with me calling you ugly all the time?
Well, then never ask me for money again. And don't bother with me handling your wedding for you anymore. I don't want to be around people that think it's okay to call others ugly. All you've done is made me feel as though I've wasted a lot of my time and money now. And I don't want that kind of relation with you anymore. So give me back my money and let your wedding be canceled.
Are you really that upset with me?
Oh, come on now! You forget that you pushed me into a fountain full of cold water? It'd be scary if you did manage to forget that so easily. Not only that, but you also have been calling me ugly forever now, and you made that your reason for kicking me out of the wedding. But seriously, you pushing me into that fountain because of my looks was the last straw for me. I'm not going to ever forgive you for that, and things between you and I are over. I am not coming back to your demolished wedding. I've already told everyone there that the wedding is canceled, and they gotten to work on taking it all down. And I plan to tell my husband everything about what happened between you and I.
Wait. What do you mean you plan to tell him everything? What the heck do you plan on telling him?
I'll tell him about how you pushed me into the water and then kicked me out of your wedding. And of course about all the other things you've said to me. I didn't want to tell him about us before either because, like you, I didn't want him worrying about us. You also told me to never tell him anything, and had you just let me be at your wedding, I never would have planned on telling him. But now things have changed, and I've had enough! After this, I'm cutting ties with you! Isn't that just fantastic for you?
That's not fantastic at all. And about my brother, he wouldn't stop talking about you any time he was around me. It was disgusting, and he was supposed to be my precious little brother, but you stole him from me.
But there is a limit to how far you can take that hate you had stored up for me.
I know that. I can see now that what I did was not right. You could say that I was just getting frustrated is all. I was hoping that at some point you'd leave my brother because of me.
We are married now, but all you could think of was having us divorce? I'm sorry, but him and I have never thought about divorce. But now that you've said that about us, I'm going to leave you for good. Is that okay with you?
But if you leave me now, then what will happen to my wedding?
Well, it'll stay canceled, won't it? You'll have to start from step one again and look for a new place to have your wedding at. But if you give me all my money back, I might rethink things.
That's screwed up, Ava. You and I are family, right? Don't you think you can cut that sort of crap with me since we're pretty much sisters? You're supposed to love and help your family, right?
I'm starting to feel that you have some sort of short-term memory loss that's at the bottom of all this. I'm sorry, but I cannot be asked with you anymore. I just don't get what is going on in that head of yours, and I don't want to anymore. So go right ahead and say whatever you'd like about me. I've told your husband now that your wedding is permanently canceled. And this might be the end of your marriage to him now as well.
Don't say those terrible things. Don't just throw me away. If my wedding really does end up being canceled today, I'll be causing a lot of problems for my parents, right? Are you happy letting those problems affect my parents?
I'm not happy about it, but I've already explained what happened to them as well.
Huh?
There were some people that watched you push me into the fountain. And your parents have already apologized to me for that. And after talking with Drew, he agrees that the both of us should cut ties with you for good.
You told Drew already? How much further are you planning to take all of this?
I'm not taking this any farther than you already have. You're the one that started all of this, and you're the one that brought it all to this point. This is great, right? You'll never have to see your ugly sister-in-law again. I'm glad about this myself. I'm finally able to say goodbye to one of the most heartless and gross women I've ever had the misfortune of calling family. Now, have a wonderful life with your husband. In the end, the wedding was officially canceled and taken apart. Evelyn's husband ended up being furious, and she was forced to apologize to both him and all of his family members that had traveled to see the wedding. And it seems that now, even their marriage is on the line. Drew was in shock over what his sister had done, and after talking with his parents about what to do about her, they all agreed to cut ties to her. Also, the money that Evelyn still had to repay Ava and the cost of the dress that she ruined by pushing her into the water were both to be paid in a settlement that Ava made. But Evelyn had been thrown out by everyone, and she tried her hardest to apologize to Ava. However,
Ava ended up blocking her and told her lawyer to make sure that money was repaid before the end of the month.
I can't take it anymore! You need to divorce my son right now!
Are we really going to go through this song and dance again, Diane?
Don't you talk to me like that! Do you know that it's all your fault that my poor little Eric is suffering? You need to free him from your evil grasp, you witch!
Free him? Literally, what are you even talking about?
Don't you play dumb with me. I heard all about what's going on from Eric. He told me how it's all your fault that he doesn't have any money.
I see. And did you happen to ask him just how exactly it's my fault that he doesn't have money? Although, if I'm being honest with you, I doubt that he would have given you an honest answer about that. Either way, I think that this is a problem between him and I, and it would be appreciated if you kept out of it.
You think this is some kind of marital problem between the two of you? No, it's a you problem, and just you!
Okay then, can you explain just how it's my fault that Eric doesn't have any money? Because I really don't think you're right about that.
He already told me all about what's going on. He tells me about all the shopping sprees that you've been going on that have left him penniless. He literally had to ask me for money because things were getting so bad. Honestly, how can you be so cold toward your husband when it's suffering like this?
Hold on a second. You said that I was spending all of his money? Why would I be doing that? I don't need his money. I have my own, thank you very much.
You're spending all his money because you're a selfish person who doesn't know when to say enough. Even though I agreed to start sending him money, he was worried that it still wouldn't be enough to keep up with you. He even asked me if he could have some of the money that his late father left for me. That's how bad you're making things for him.
And are you serious? Did he really ask you to start sending him money over all of this? He's 40 years old and he's still expecting his parents to pay him an allowance?
He's only having to do that because of your crazy spending. Don't you get it?
No, I don't get it because it's incorrect. I'm not using a cent of Eric's money. I can tell you that much. If he doesn't have money, it's for another reason, and it doesn't have anything to do with me.
How can you say that? If you think I'm going to just let you keep ruining my son's life, you have another thing coming. I want you to go find a job and get out of the house.
I actually do have a job, and I do get out of the house quite frequently, thank you. But there are times when I can't get out of the house as well.
And why can't you? Because you're too lazy? Because you don't want to work harder? You need to contribute more and quit spending all Eric's money.
Okay, I am going to talk to Eric and ask him to come clean to you. Clearly, you're not going to believe a word that I say. So I don't really see the point in carrying on this conversation today. Eric, you've got some explaining to do. Just why are you telling your mom that it's all my fault you don't have any money? I didn't even know that you were getting from her until today.
Wait, you didn't know that I was asking her for financial help? Well, then again, I guess that I never told you either. But it's really not that much either way.
This isn't about how much money you're getting. What I want to know is why you need that much money anyways. Don't tell me that you're still going at it.
I just have times when I need some more money, okay? It's a personal thing, and just because we're married, doesn't mean that you need to know every little thing about me.
Excuse me? Did you seriously just say that? All I'm saying is that I think it's time that your mom found out that you're in debt. And you need to be the one to tell her because she isn't going to listen if it comes from me. Also, I don't appreciate you making a scapegoat and explaining your financial troubles to your mom.
Yeah. But do you really need to get so upset? I mean, it's not like this is the first time that my mom has gotten mad at you for something. So I don't really get what the big deal is.
The big deal is that you are telling your mom that I'm the one who is spending all your money when we both know that isn't true. So don't act surprised when I get mad because you're telling lies about me.
Oh right, that reminds me. Can I borrow some money from you? I'm just a little short this month, and I only need a little bit, I promise.
Are you even reading a word that I'm saying to you?
I know, but my mom isn't giving me as much money as she used to. And I just really need to borrow some.
I'm still just shocked that you're asking your mom for money. But if you think that I'm going to give you any, then you are sorely mistaken.
You cheapskate. You're always like this to me.
Are you kidding me right now? Look, just tell your mom the truth about what's going on, okay? I don't want to have to be blamed for your problems again. Hey, are you even reading these messages anymore?
You are going to do as I say, and you are going to divorce my son. Do you understand me?
What are you talking about?
I mean that I know all about your little secret. Eric came to me and he told me everything.
And just what secret did Eric tell you about? Because I don't really have any secrets, as you say.
Oh, really? You mean you're not trying to make your husband pay down your $80,000 loan? You've really got some nerve pretending like that wasn't going on this whole time.
Excuse me? You think that I'm trying to make Eric pay off my loans that you think totaled to $80,000? And this is what Eric told you. Diane, I don't know what else to say except that Erica is lying and trying to trick you with that.
No, he's not. My son would never do that to me. He came to me to tell me all about how you were making him pay down your debt. He's already told me the whole story. So I want to hear it from you. Just why are you so intent on ruining my son?
Diane, I am telling you that you are making a mistake, and that is not what's going on. Your son is lying to you about that, okay?
You're just trying to turn me against him to save your own skin. But I'm not going to be fooled. And I want you to leave him. And then I want you to leave and never come back. You're going to pay off your own loan and forget about dumping it all on my poor son. He never should have married a horrible lady like you.
I seriously don't even know what to say anymore. This is just getting ridiculous.
Just shut up and get out of my son's life, you horrible, awful woman!
You mean you're really not going to listen to a word of what I'm trying to tell you? I'll do as you say, but don't come back to me saying that I didn't warn you.
I never want to see you ever again, do you understand me? And I want you to keep away from my poor little Eric, too. You've done more than enough to hurt him already.
Right, of course. I guess I'll just divorce him then.
That's right. I'm glad that you're finally starting to make some sense.
And I suppose you'll just have to take care of him after I leave.
What is that supposed to mean? When you divorce him, you're going to be taking all your debt with you, and then he'll finally be free of the parasite that's been at his side this whole time.
Whatever you say. I guess I'll start packing my things.
I want you out of the house by the end of the day.
Sure thing. I can do that. But I think you should know that that debt isn't mine. It's Eric's.
There you go, trying to lie your way through life again. When are you going to take responsibility for your life and grow up?
You're right. I'll do just that and leave then. I already have my signed divorce papers ready to go, actually, so it's all up to Eric to sign his portion, and then we'll proceed.
I just heard from Eric. He confirmed everything that you were saying.
So you finally come around to listen to me, huh? And you realize that I've also been helping Eric pay down his own loans?
But it can't be right. I mean, how does a loan even get that bad? How did Eric let that happen?
I tried to warn you about this, but you just wouldn't listen to me. I gave you plenty of chances to talk this out, but you were never interested.
Well, I only believe it now because Eric told me that it was right. When I told him that I kicked you out of the house, he flipped out on me. He was so angry at me, and I knew that I must have done something wrong.
Yes, I think you did too. But you didn't do anything wrong to me. Only Eric. And now, thanks to you, he doesn't have anyone like me to support him.
But I don't get it. You were making enough money for the both of you.
Well, I made just enough money for us to have a little leeway, but Eric was always borrowing from me to support his gambling habit.
His gambling habit? What do you mean by that?
You mean he didn't mention that to you at all? The debt that he said was all mine was all from his gambling addiction. Although I guess you had no idea that was happening.
You've got to be kidding me. That can't be. I refuse to believe it.
Believe it or not, it really doesn't make a difference to me at all. But know that I am telling the truth. But at least I'm finally free and I won't have any responsibility for a guy like that ever again.
But no, could it be? Are you really telling the truth?
I am sure that you must be just floored to be hearing all of this, right?
It doesn't make any sense at all.
But anyways, that means that now Eric has to pay off all that debt himself. So I'm sure he'll rope you in to help him somehow. Good luck with that, I guess. This really isn't my business anymore, though, so please don't reach out to me again. I'm finally free! This is so great! Good luck taking care of your helpless son again!
Regina, please, you have to help us.
Oh, Diane! It's been a while since I last heard from you. What is this about? Is everything all right?
I can't pay anymore. We're falling behind on the interest payments and Eric is seriously freaking out. Not only that, but he's already fallen further into debt and You have to help us.
That sounds like a tough spot. But you do remember what I told you, right?
What do you mean? What did you tell me?
I told you that Eric and I are divorced and that his debt isn't my problem anymore. So you two can figure out how to deal with it amongst yourselves. Just leave me out of it. It's way too late to try and apologize and ask for help now. I'd been thanklessly helping Eric for years, and now I never want to have to do it again.
Please, you don't have to be like this. Maybe you two could get back together and come live with me. I'm sure that you must also be in a tight spot having been kicked out of the house, right? Well, you can come back here and we can figure something out that works for everyone.
Actually, I just went out and got myself a condo after I moved out.
Oh, well then maybe Eric and I could go live there after you both get back together.
It's a pretty amazing place, I'm not gonna lie. But I have no intention of sharing it with my gambling-addicted ex-husband or his nosy mother. Like you said, I never want to see either of you again. So anyways, good luck with all of that.
How can you be so cruel? We're coming to you in a time of need. Don't you get that?
I do get that. But what I don't get is why you think you're entitled to my help after the way you treated me. I'm not just someone you can boss around and make demands of. Especially not now. As I've said, Eric and I are divorced. And I am not responsible for either of you. In fact, I'm already talking with my lawyer about getting back the money I spent on Eric.
Get the money back? What is that supposed to mean?
Well, as part of the divorce process, I am going to ask that Eric sends me money out of his paycheck every month. It's all part of the alimony process.
But I just told you that we don't have any money. Are you really going to try and squeeze us for more?
Yep. Anyways, like I said, good luck with all that. You're not that old. Maybe you should think about getting back out there and working. I'm sure Eric would appreciate it.
You're seriously telling an old woman to get back to work?
Well, it sounds to me like you two might not be able to make ends meet if you don't. Maybe you should have listened to me when you had the chance instead of throw me out of the house. Anyways, have a nice life. After that, Diane and Eric began to be served with their legal fees and their situation only grew more dire. In order to pay me back, the judge and lawyers agreed to an amount that I was eligible to receive. Then, they gave Eric the option to buy the amount in one lump sum or to give me a portion of his paycheck every month. Eric agreed to pay me a portion of his paycheck and helped recoup some of the money that I had poured into his debt. Although, since I don't really need the money and the amount Eric sends to me every month is always so little anyways, I've decided to donate it every single time that I've received it. Not only do I not need it, I really don't even need a part of my life to come from Eric ever again. Eric was freaking out about his financial situation and even tried to get his mom to co-sign on his loans and split the responsibility. I'm sure it was not a good time for either of them. I heard later on from some mutual friends of Eric and I that him and his mom are always fighting over money and who needs to pay more. Clearly the answer is Eric, since it's his debt. But now that I'm gone, he only has his mom to take advantage of now. I wonder when she'll realize that enough is enough and kick him to the curb like I did. Although, now that she has a role in paying her son's debt, I can't see that happening anytime soon. I think that's especially given that later on, I heard that Diane did end up getting a job and that she's using her income from that and her retirement to help with the debt. She even had to sell her house, and her and Eric now live in a tiny apartment to be able to afford all their expenses. Thankfully, I don't have to deal with any of that at all, and I'm enjoying my life being single. Although it's my first time being single in several years, I am making sure that I take the time to rediscover who I am before jumping into anything too new. I want to take the time to recover after the ordeal I went through, so that I don't make the mistake that I made in choosing my last partner. I have also found that I have time to take up more hobbies, such as knitting. It's going slowly, but I'm making progress every day. It's nice learning how to sew while I stitch my life back together.